to get the most out of our existing nuclear fleet. That's why you saw us just replace steam generators at Watts Bar, power upgrades, really important. The second part is to demonstrate that we can build a fleet of small modular reactors, light water reactors, the BWRX-300, right here and hopefully elsewhere in our footprint. And we're also engaged in helping to develop the Generation 4 designs that we think might have an impact in the late 2030s and 2040s as we continue to need to build.
We're grateful for what TVA is doing. You know, they've been providing reliable energy for Tennesseans for a long time. Now they're going to be a part of a strategy for reliable energy for America for the future.
Please take your seats. The meeting will begin in 1 minute. Please welcome Nicole Holmes, Chief Commercial Officer, GE Hitachi Nuclear Energy.
Good morning. It is great to see everyone here. I'm Nicole from GE Hitachi, and I'm glad you came to our party. It is terrific to see more than 100 people here and many more who've joined over our virtual live stream. When I think about nuclear, we haven't always had a lot of parties. When I was a nuclear engineer, newly graduated 25 or so years ago, the future looked a little uncertain. Today, the future looks big and bright and full of opportunities, and this team represents that. When I look and think about the distinguished speakers we have, I am humbled by the representatives from industry, the countries of Poland, Canada, and the United States, and many of the US representatives who will speak here today. We are going to change the world. The future for nuclear is bright. Your presence here, the event today, speaks loudly to the importance of nuclear energy in our clean energy future. So, we're excited you're here. It's a fantastic day. We want to celebrate. Let's get started. I'll introduce our CEOs first. Our first speaker will be Jay Wildman, CEO and President of GE Hitachi Nuclear Energy. He'll be followed by Jeff Lyash, President and CEO of Tennessee Valley Authority. Then we'll hear from Ken Hartwick, President and CEO of Ontario Power Generation. And finally, Rafal Kasparov from Synthos Green Energy. So I'll welcome Jay.
Fantastic. Looking out in this audience at all of our colleagues coming together for this great event. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the interest. Thank you for a lot of things that we're going to be doing together as stakeholders here. This is a very exciting time for GE, for my other three partners here, for the industry. We are really excited about what we're launching into here, or I should say in some cases have launched into, since we're moving a little bit of dirt here and there. I think this has been a long time coming. This is what it's going to take to succeed with a nuclear build. It's going to be strong partnerships. It's going to be stakeholder engagement and a lot of hard work, but we will succeed. This last year has been phenomenal. A lot of firsts for us. Whether it was the submission of the license to construct or the work on the construction permit, the launch of our common design here, a lot of activities going on that will come together for success in the near future. It's a great collaboration, spans 3 countries, a lot of great companies, and this is just the beginning, the foundation. Yes, the first Darlington and Clinch River and Polish projects are very important to demonstrate we can succeed, but this is really the launch of a platform going forward to help solve climate change. I do applaud the leadership and the bold vision of my partners here. I want to thank them a lot for being able to collaborate together. I think that's really important. Getting this right is critical. So for us, nuclear, we all know nuclear has to be a part of the equation to get there if you believe in and want to achieve net zero by 2050, right? Nuclear has to have a seat at the table, but we've got to earn our seat at that table. And to do that, we've got to be on schedule, on budget, and it's got to be a competitive cost. That is one of the foremost purposes we have there in our design to cost. In our common design, where you design it once and you build it multiple times, not like our sins of the past, which we've seen 2 plants on one site with different designs even. I see some CNOs shaking their head like, yeah, Jay, I know. So it's around modularization, right, that really supports synergistically that common design out there. And the BWRX 300 does all that, while at the same time utilizing a lot of those systems that are operating today around this country and other countries, but just brought through in a very simplified approach, which is really the key for us to get to the cost targets. This is something that we are absolutely committed to. We've got all of our engineers, project managers focused on executing well, and I intend on absolutely being able to be here for the next milestone and celebrating again. So thank you again for your time. And next, Jeff.
Well, thank you, Jay, and thanks to all of you for being here today. I think it's an important day, and I hope 10, 20 years from now, people look back on this day and it will have aged well, and people will say these were committed leaders, all of you in the audience as well as the people here on the stage, and that they made something happen that was important. And so what is it that's important? Well, the era we're facing here is one where energy security and decarbonization are going to be at the heart of this country, Canadian, Polish, every country in the world. You cannot sacrifice one for the other. We can't have a decarbonized economy without energy security. And having energy security, if we don't address environmental issues, is equally unacceptable. So that's the challenge. But we should be excited about the challenge and what it's going to take to meet it. I can tell you I'm excited, and as I was listening to Jay talk, I reflected on the fact that the very first General Electric boiling water reactor that I walked into as a test engineer was in 1981, 40 years ago. That's important, because what we have here is a technology with 50 years of operating experience behind it that rests on a supply chain that we largely brought into existence and maintained. The challenge for us is not just developing this next evolution of the technology. The big challenge is deployment, workforce, supply chain, delivery model. So what today's about is certainly signing a historic agreement to develop the standard design, but what it's really about is partnership and leadership. What you should see here is partnership between a great technology company, GE Hitachi, and 3 great industrial companies in the power sector. It's not one or the other, it's the way those 2 fit together. But it's a partnership between power companies, TVA, OPG, Synthos Green Energy. But it's more than that. It's a partnership between regulators. the Canadian Nuclear Safety Commission, the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and the Polish regulator. But it's yet more than that. It's about a partnership between three countries: the United States, Canada, and Poland. Because what's important to make this successful is certainly the technology, but it's that partnership. And by demonstrating this, we hope that that will demonstrate leadership in the industry and around the world to develop one of the critical solutions, not the only one, but one of the critical solutions to take us to that secure, decarbonized energy future. I'm proud to be a part of it, and I'm more excited today than I was on that day in 1981, Jay.
Good morning, everybody. I think as Jeff and Jay said, this is an exciting day, an exciting time. At OPG, we have an expression to electrify life in one generation. And it's the reason we use that is the only way to actually accomplish it is to start. I get asked a lot, why did you decide to start the build of the GEH technology first at our Darlington site, which is already a site where we have other nuclear on? And really, the answer is quite simple. We decided that because our shareholder, the province of Ontario, was incredibly supportive for us starting down this path of continuing the decarbonization of the economy in Ontario, which is good for every consumer, every industrial customer in the province. So that support was there and gave us the confidence to start. And then the next step, which really both Jeff and Jay touched on, is partners. I think everything can be done better when you get like-minded people, like-minded companies, like-minded countries together, all with a very common objective of accomplishing something really, really important. So it wasn't so much that OPG went first. I think what we did first was talk to a group of companies and people that we respect and trust and decide to go first together. And I think by doing that, we will accomplish something in Poland, in not just Tennessee, but the United States, in Canada, and many other countries, because I think when they see us do this first as a team, it's going to inspire confidence in many other places to begin the process so they can also electrify life in a generation. And we get asked a lot, going first, there's a little bit of risk in going first. This will be really, really hard. Yes, it will be. It'll be hard. There'll be bumps, there'll be challenges. But again, I feel much more confident with the three companies that are up here on the stage with us that those challenges will be like anything else we have to do that's difficult. It's difficult because it's important. And this is something that waiting for someone else to do this was not something any of our four companies wanted to do. So, I think I agree with Jeff's comments. We're going to look back on this in a few years' time, specifically late 28 when we bring the first reactor online, and say this was something very unique that all of us accomplished as a team, and many of the people sitting in this room and others that will be part of this endeavor. And OPG is very, very proud to be with the partners we're with and with the group of you to ultimately electrify all our lives in the next generation. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jay, for mentioning the word foundation. It's something I had in my mind for a long time when we were negotiating this agreement. So back to 1940s, great American writer Isaac Asimov wrote a book called Foundation. It's about a small group of people who were able to defeat galactic empire. They were able to defeat galactic empire because they become smarter, faster, technology developed. Why they did it? Or they will do it, because it's about future, so maybe they will do this. So they were able to create small modular reactors. In these times, these days, we have energy crisis, we have need of decommissioning of coal-fired plants in all Central Europe, we have high energy prices, we are cut from the fossil fuels. So we are exactly in a similar situation when the solution which we need is something new technology which can solve all of our problem. And already I think we have it. We have SMRs, we have boiling water reactor, state-of-the-art GE technology which can solve all our problems at once. One thing I would like to add that coming here, I passed through monumental statue of General Kościuszko, who was a Polish-American patriot, but also engineer. So I do believe that with the scientific progress, with great engineering, we can also bring one more word to this, freedom. Thank you.
Thank you. I heard a lot about leadership, partnership, trust. When I think about this, I don't remember a time that we've seen all of us coming together for this much support, this much progress, this much momentum for nuclear. We've heard from industry, now I want to hear from our government officials. So first I'd like to introduce Dr. Catherine Huff. She is Assistant Secretary of the U.S. Department of Energy, Office of Nuclear Energy. Welcome, Dr. Huff.
What an honor to be here on behalf of the Department of Energy to congratulate this team. Congratulations to everyone involved. This partnership is a model for precisely the kind of first mover, visionary, private investment-driven effort that our initiatives in the Department of Energy try to spur and start and support, but it takes, a lot of dollars to make real change happen, and the federal government can't provide all of those dollars. Our $1 needs to turn into trillions of dollars on the private side, and this group of individuals is doing just that. This partnership is precisely what will result in commercial liftoff for small modular reactors, which DOE is really excited about as a technology. DOE has been partnered with GE on BWR technologies for decades, and we're really excited to see the BWRX-300 reaching these milestones. TVA, of course, is a visionary leader, a customer with the kind of strength to think beyond this quarter's finances and think into the next few decades. OPG is similarly a great model for North America, building this BWRX-300 by 2028, first one for our continent. And of course, Synthos has a real vision for Poland. They don't intend to build 1 or 2 or 3, but I hope to see dozens of reactors in Poland, not just Westinghouse AP1000s, but these BWRX-300s. This partnership is greater than the sum of its parts, though. These are real world-class implementers. Companies that do what my boss, Secretary of Energy Jennifer Granholm, would like us all to do with clean energy technologies, which is deploy, deploy, deploy. These companies know how to deploy real technology. A key challenge that may hinder commercial deployment and liftoff of nuclear reactors at scale to the scale we need to meet our climate goals. Worldwide, we need to double the amount of nuclear capacity, possibly even triple it by 2050 in order to meet our net zero carbon goals. And one of the things that may get in the way is the cost associated with lengthy construction timelines. And so, DOE's role is to generally support these kind of initiatives, and we have some real engagements with GE right now that are trying to help with that. My office, in the Office of Nuclear Energy, is already partnered with the GE Hitachi team on the Advanced Construction Technologies Initiative, which is aiming to make nuclear construction faster and cheaper. This includes a technology called steel bricks, which are modular steel concrete structures like high-tech Lego pieces that are intended to be put together for reducing the labor of construction on site. And I understand that we're right now already making some progress, nearing completion of phase 1 for that initiative. This project has already made some significant accomplishments, designing and fabricating those steel bricks and incorporating digital twin technology to support Phase 2, which would be a demonstration of that technology. And part of Phase 1, of course, the team recommended the site for that demonstration, which would be TVA Clinch River. DOE, of course, is in the process of reviewing site selection and engaging in negotiations on Phase 2, but we're really excited to see these partnerships already resulting in real physical action and improvements to technologies. I want to end by just congratulating this project team for already being in the midst of work that is a small part of what is a large amount of work that you're embarking on, because you are part of the model that DOE would love to see. We love a public-private partnership, but a private-private partnership is even better. So I encourage you all to congratulate them on joining us in what DOE is calling implementation season, because it's time to deploy. Thank you.
Okay, that will be our new mantra: deploy, deploy, deploy. I love it. Next, we're going to hear from the Honorable Todd Smith, the Minister of Energy for Ontario, and Canada has really led the way, and the Honorable Todd Smith has been a key part of that. We really appreciate your support.
Thank you very much, Nicole. It's great to be here with all of you to celebrate this tremendous milestone on this project. I want to thank President Biden for agreeing to go to Canada today so that I could come here to Washington to be with all of you. It's a nice trade-off. It is great to be in Washington, D.C. today. The blossoms are in full bloom. It's a beautiful drive around town. It takes a little while to get around town. The snow is mostly gone in Toronto. We still do have lots of snow up north, but it's great to be here with all of you. And Jeff, by the way, as you were telling that story about being a nuclear operator in that boiling water reactor in 1981, I visited my first boiling water reactor in 1982 as a Boy Scout. So you can do the math on that one, Jeff. I know we look like we're the same age, but anyway, it really is great to be here with all of you. Nuclear power has long served, and I'm going to lay a little bit of the groundwork on what's going on in Ontario and what's going on in Canada, but the snow may still be there, but nuclear power has been the backbone of Ontario's electricity system. And as Ontario's Minister of Energy, I can confidently say that it's going to play a critical role for many, many years moving forward. Because after years of mostly flat demand in Ontario, under our government, Ontario is growing once again. Over the last couple of years, we've attracted massive investments, including more than $17 billion in just the electric vehicle and battery manufacturing sector. In fact, just last week, Volkswagen announced that they were going to be building their first overseas gigafactory in Ontario. That's an investment which alone is going to require more than 400 megawatts of clean, zero-emissions energy, which is the equivalent of about 400,000 homes. At the same time, our province's population is expected to grow by more than 2 million people over the coming decade. To meet this increasing demand, our government is currently overseeing a massive build-out of Ontario's electricity supply. Luckily, Ontario's got a long history of leadership in nuclear energy. The legacy of our CANDU reactors, for example, have helped and continue to help Canada and countries around the world to produce reliable and clean electricity. Now, new nuclear technologies like the one we're celebrating here today, like small modular reactors, represent more tremendous economic, environmental, and export opportunities. That's why I'm really proud of Ontario's early leadership on SMRs. I'm thrilled that Ontario and Canada will be the home of the first grid-scale SMR in the Western world, the BWRX 300 at OPG's Darlington site just east of Toronto, where we broke ground just 3 months ago on World Nuclear Energy Day. We have a technology, we've got a project, we've got a plan to deliver new, clean electricity to our grid before the end of this decade. This after a process that started with an exhaustive review of over 100 potential designs. Ken and his team did great work. A process that's now being replicated in other jurisdictions around the world. And I'm confident that this agreement between Ontario Power Generation, Tennessee Valley Authority, Synthos Green Energy of Poland, and GE Hitachi Nuclear Energy will advance the work that we have underway in Ontario and ensure that this reactor has a standard design, one that can be deployed across Canada, here in the United States, many in Poland, and many other jurisdictions beyond that. It's going to provide economic and environmental benefits for all three of those countries and many others. I'll take just a moment, just an opportunity to note that we in Ontario recognize the importance of getting this first-of-a-kind project done right for the benefit of Ontario families and businesses, and for the nuclear industry more broadly. By working together, I know that we'll ensure that we'll get the next generation of nuclear built on time and on budget, just like OPG is doing now with their CANDU refurbishments. And this work is going to be critical with our electricity system operator predicting that Ontario alone could need as much as 18 additional gigawatts of new nuclear by 2050 to meet growing demand from electrification and economic development. So congratulations once again to OPG, TVA, Synthos Green Energy, and GE Hitachi on this very, very important collaboration. I've got no doubt at all that your efforts are going to provide tremendous economic and environmental benefits for generations to come. Congratulations to all.
I'm going to take the challenge. I guess we're all going to tell the first time we went to a nuclear power plant. 1992. Okay. And you guys do the math. Okay. All right. So, finally, I'd like to introduce Marek Magorowski, the Ambassador of the Republic of Poland to the United States. Welcome.
Notes, just to be on the safe side. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the invitation to this momentous event. A brief confession, if you don't mind. I've always been pretty miserable deciphering acronyms. So, and speaking of galactic empires, when I first learned about BWRX 300, I automatically recalled all those cute robots featuring in Star Wars. To be honest, I feel a bit embarrassed because I'm supposed to deliver remarks on a subject I know almost nothing about. On the other hand, in my previous incarnation, working as a journalist for over 20 years, I was doing it on a daily basis, so nothing new to me. Therefore, as a layman, I have to be careful making bold statements. I will make just two. Firstly, there is only one word in English which is more difficult to spell than my last name, and it is decarbonization. And secondly, nuclear is the future. I believe this is something we can all agree on. You as producers of energy and us, the consumers. If we want to breathe cleaner air, if we wish to satisfy our society's ever-growing energy needs, if we want to survive global economic turbulences, we need to put more chips on nuclear. I'm so glad to attend the signing ceremony of this multinational agreement, accompanying representatives of Synthos Green Energy, a Polish company. It is not only about deepening our cooperation in this particular field, it's not only about Poland's energy transformation, but also about our long-term strategic vision of alliances and friendships. I am confident that Poland, the US, and Canada will become even closer to each other through such deals, as close as Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, R2-D2, and BWRX-300. Thank you very much.
Nuclear has a future, we agree, and we want to continue celebrating. So we'll hear from members of the U.S. House and Senate today, and we're going to start with Senator Tom Tillis from North Carolina. Welcome.
Before I start my comments on the exciting subject that we're here today, I want to extend my thanks to the ambassador to Poland. Ambassador, I'm the Republican leader for the Senate NATO Observer Group and have been for nearly 6 years. The work you're doing to face off against Ukraine, along with your NATO partners and allies, is admired and cherished. Thank you for your friendship. Thanks for everybody being here today. I've got to start by saying hello to the nearly 2,000 workers at GE Hitachi down in Wilmington, North Carolina. It's an exciting day for them, I'm sure, and it's an exciting day for all of us. Mr. Ambassador, it's just easier to say small modular reactors. Don't do the BMX 300 thing. Because this technology is really exciting. It's an exciting opportunity to put into the portfolio a renewable, green, safe energy source that does help us decarbonize, that does help us address legitimate climate challenges, but produces just an incredible opportunity in this country, in Poland, in Canada, and across the world. I actually think I'm going to have several other members here, so I'll let them talk about other aspects of this project, but I'm a project management guy by profession. I'm immediately thinking about how we can get more sooner, how we can deploy, privately. And I think a part of what we have to do is start thinking about all of the kinds of legislation at the state, the local, and the federal level that will enable it. Things that some of you may be familiar with, others may not. Construction work in progress, so that we can recover rates, get the project online, make the economic work, expand the buy box so that we can have more sooner. I'm thrilled that the TVA is involved. I'm a Tennessee volunteer. Don't tell my North Carolina fan, but I'm proud to see this region be put on the map for one of the first deployments. But I think we need to go back and think about how we can do this faster, better. And I believe that there are a number of policy hurdles that we can work on to really lay the groundwork for, as the technology proves out with these first implementations in Canada and the United States, that we just continue to increase the opportunities here. And for my part, I want to again thank GE Hitachi for having the great sound judgment to have employees based in North Carolina. I'm excited about the prospects that it means for our great state, but I'm particularly excited about the prospects that this has for the United States and the rest of the world. So thank you for the investment. You were investing in a time when it wasn't quite certain if even you produced a product, you'd be able to deploy it. You took a risk, and I'm here to make sure that that pays off for the benefit of everybody. Thank you.
I live in North Carolina, but I also like the volunteers. Woohoo! Senator Tillis has to leave, or we were going to get him to do Rocky Top, but he had to scoot out. In just a moment, Senator Haggerty will join us. He is also from Tennessee, and we are pleased to have him. We're pausing just a minute as he comes into the room, but I think this does feel like a celebration. More, sooner, deploy. Partnership, leadership, trust. It's a good day. And here we have Senator Haggerty from Tennessee. Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
I was asking Jeff Lyash on the way in, how's the turnout? This is fantastic. But it's a tremendous day and a tremendous celebration that we've got right here, something I've been waiting for a long time. Our energy security and our national security are so closely linked. This is something that I learned firsthand when I served as U.S. Ambassador to Japan. At that time, I worked very closely with our allies in Japan, focused on our energy security. I worked hard with them to get them to commit to importing U.S. LNG and investing billions of dollars in the facilities to do just that. I also worked with our allies in Japan to get them to stop buying Iranian crude oil, secondary sanctions that we had imposed on Iran. Not an easy conversation to have. Not an easy conversation when it's been a 70-year relationship. And when you think about the context of Japan's lack of energy sources, but they did that to support us. And as we were having these conversations in Japan, the thought of nuclear partnership became more and more prominent. And it became more and more obvious to me that these small and modular reactors could solve a huge problem. We think about the journey that we're on from an energy standpoint, and I'm an all of the above person. These small modular reactors pose tremendous opportunity for us, and I could not be more pleased to see us partner today, GE Hitachi, Ontario Power, and TVA, to bring this capability together, and eventually to bring this manufacturing to East Tennessee, where we will have a nuclear reactor there. We'll have the workforce and the manufacturing capability there as well. This is a massive win for America, for Canada, for Poland, and I am very, very pleased to be here to congratulate all of you who've been participants in this thus far, and to tell you again, from an energy security and a national security standpoint, this could not come soon enough. So thank you, congratulations, and it's great to be with all of you today. Thanks.
I promise we didn't write their talking points, but this could not come soon enough. It's fantastic. Next, we're going to hear from Senator Marsha Blackburn from Tennessee. She is on her way. So while we have just a moment, I'm going to tell you one of the things that I think is awesome about what we're doing today and what's about to happen. If you talk to women, young girls, and you say, why don't you want to be an engineer? Still around 20% in the United States. They say, I want to do a career, I want to go into a profession that helps people. I think today, the future for nuclear shows clean energy, technology, we're helping people. And I want us to deliver that message. Nuclear has been underground for too long. We haven't had enough parties, celebrations, things to be happy about. So today is a party, it is a celebration, and we are going to welcome Marsha Blackburn, Senator from Tennessee.
Thank you. Well, go Vols, right? Yes, my bracket has them at the top. So I am absolutely so delighted to step over and join you all for just a few minutes and really to say thank you for the emphasis you've put on a partnership. We hear so much about affordable energy, sustainable energy, consistent energy. And when you talk about a way to fill in the gaps, a way that will allow for expansion, something that can end up being a great export for the United States, the SMRs are a great way to do it. Now, I was an early adopter of this concept, and being able to meet with some of those at Oak Ridge, and by the way, a lot of those engineers were women, and working with them, hearing from them, looking at what the utilizations could be domestically and in other countries when you talk about a way to expand access to affordable electric power. And the SMR is a great way to do that. So to all of the participants, congratulations to TVA and Jeff Lyash, who has led that team, and encourage them to think big and to think outside the box. I think that congratulations goes to them, and we look forward to seeing what you're going to be able to accomplish through this project and the opportunity that it is going to build domestically for those on the manufacturing end, and then the opportunity that it will present for those in other countries. I was just left a Senate Finance Committee hearing, and today we were working with Ambassador Tai, our trade rep, and looking at trade policy. And we just completed a discussion around the importance of U.S. innovation, manufacturing, dealing with the 232 tariffs and the 301 tariffs, and then allowing U.S. innovators and manufacturers to partner and then present product that will make the world a better place. And I said, how incredibly important to be in that discussion and then to walk over here and say, this is how it is done. Thank you all so much.
Okay, we're just doing things, we're being flexible. And now I want to invite our 4 CEOs to the signing table. We want to sign this contract. We want to ink the deal, and I would love for them to join us on stage. And we have one more member of Congress that we hope is on the way to join us, but we'll sign and then we'll come back. You may hear more about things that are important to me. Okay. Okay, that's a big day. Do you guys know what we just signed? So this is the Technology Collaboration Agreement. We have to have an acronym, TCA. And the partnership will develop the standard design for the BWR X300. So when Dr. Huff said private, 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 and private-public partnership, this team has come together through a lot of hard work to make this possible today. So the agreement is signed, and we're very excited for the work ahead that will deliver the first SMR in Canada, BWR X300. I want to invite the CEO of GE Vernova, Scott Strazik, to make closing remarks.
Thanks, everyone, and Nicole, great job moderating the whole morning. As the CEO of GE Vernova, in which GE Hitachi is one of our 12 businesses, I just want to emphasize at the start how committed we are to partner with these great companies and countries on continuing to develop and modernize the next generation of nuclear power. We feel so fortunate and thankful for great partnerships and the teamwork that we've done today. This is a party and a celebration today, but the real work starts tomorrow as we take the next steps, not just to build one plant or three, but to scale this technology for the impact that the world needs in both electrifying and decarbonizing the world from here. So again, to our partners, thank you very much. And to everyone that's here today, thanks for being with us, and we look forward to future events. Thanks, everyone.
I want to thank everybody for coming today to the nuclear party. It's been a fun day. We have one more member of Congress who will probably join us later, but at this time I want to thank those who joined us virtually via the live stream. We're going to end that recording now, and we encourage everyone to visit, stay around, and enjoy this day. Thank you very much.